Hello everybody and welcome back to Screen Stars. I'm here today to review the 2012 horror movie No One Lives, a film that stars Luke Evans. Now this is a film that's been recommended to me a number of times over the years. I've never really had a huge amount of interest in watching this film. For a number of reasons, but one of the reasons was the fact that it was financed by WWE Studios. Now, I'm a fan of WWE wrestling, but let's be honest, when it comes to making movies, they haven't got a great track record. So I've never really been interested too much in this movie. The concept of it, that I was aware of what it was about, it didn't particularly excite me. However, I've had the opportunity to see this film now, and what is this a film about? Well, this is actually quite a hard film to review if you don't want to give spoilers away, and I'm going to try not to give spoilers away, but like I say, it is quite a hard film to review without spoilers. And this film focuses on Luke Evans' character, who is relocating with his girlfriend, it would appear. Nice posh car, trailer on the back with all the goods inside, relocating somewhere. But there is also like a vicious gang that basically robs rich people. It shows them doing a robbery. It all goes terribly wrong. There's somebody in the gang who's very trigger happy. And he's told by the leader of this gang in no uncertain terms that he's going to have to make up for what he's just done because he screws up this huge robbery. So this gang find Luke Evans and his girlfriend in this bar, and this trigger happy thug clocks that he's driving a posh car and stuff, and makes an assumption that, you know, he's very well to do, he's rich, and this might make a good score. So there's a bit of an altercation in the bar, and then Luke Evans is run off the road by this trigger happy thug. He steals the car and the trailer, takes it back to the gang's hideout, and from that point on the film flips itself upside down, and the hunters then become the hunted. This is the bits where, if I'm not careful, I'm going to give away spoilers. Now, this film's been out a reasonable amount of times, 2012. It's not exactly a new release. So some of you watching this might have already seen this film, or you might already know what the twist is in this film. However, I'm still not going to spoil it. So therefore, it comes to a point now in this movie where this gang has the tables turned on them, and there is a vicious fight for survival. That's it. That's all I'm going to say in the story for this. Now, what did I think of No One Lives? I wasn't overly taken with this movie, I have to be honest. I actually found it quite mean-spirited and full of characters that were unlikable. Every single character in this film was unlikable. Obviously the gang of thugs were unlikable, full of, you know, nasty people. But the ones that you were supposed to be rooting for, even though it doesn't make it clear in this film who you're supposed to be rooting for, they weren't likeable either. There was nothing likeable about those characters. Luke Evans' character, there's another character that is revealed in this film that I don't want to spoil, that you're supposed to feel sympathy for, I guess, but you just don't, because the performance doesn't allow you to feel sympathy for this character. So I found myself watching a film where I wasn't invested in any of the characters. The kill scenes in this film are all pretty brutal, which took me by surprise. It was particularly gory, this film, actually. So that was all constructed pretty well, but I also found this film, it felt cheap. It just felt like some of the scenes that were clearly just on a film set. You know, it didn't feel like they were in like a forest somewhere. It just felt like a film set. And there was a couple of scenes where we're supposedly in a car driving, that it's absolutely clear that they're not actually driving, they're on a film set. It just, at times, it felt really, really cheap to me, this film. But I think it's undeniably effective as well at times. Now, depending on your take on some of the characters in this film, you might feel differently about it, because I didn't warm to any of the characters and feel I didn't have anybody to root for in this film. I didn't develop any affection for it particularly. I found it a bit mean-spirited, which might sound a bit odd for a horror film, but the story that they tried to present in this film, it needed somebody to feel sympathy for and somebody to root for, and I just didn't have that in this film. So from my perspective, I think it was a bit of a failure in that department, but it's well made, I suppose. It's throwaway horror action type stuff, and quite a unique twist. So I'm going to give it a 6 out of 10. I wasn't overly impressed with this film, but it's not awful or anything. So there you go, guys. That is No One Lives, starring Luke Evans. If you haven't seen the film, it's worth checking it out, but if not, I wouldn't go out of my way to watch this film, guys. So I hope you enjoyed this review, and once again, thank you very much for watching.